Street revolutionaries, right? This is an example of outward aggression. All of this up here, inward aggression, but this is outward aggression. Street revolutionaries. Malcolm X, H. Rap Brown, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, or organizations like Black Panthers, us, Black Army, or 5%ers. Right? Hip-hop music, gangster rap, is a contemporary form of the bad entertainment. Okay. Somebody tell me about this. What's COINTELPRO? What's COINTELPRO, Jonathan?
Oh, you asking me?
I'm asking you,
COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program founded by the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, like you have up there. One of the chief things they did was try to find ways to systematically shut down the Black Panther Party, anybody that could speak up for the community, the Malcolm X's, how Dr. Martin Luther King, how he began to redirect some of his own teachings and methods. They had to find a way to shut them down. After they shut them down, then they had to go back and find a way to make sure that the community didn't find these people as, you know, honorable, or any kind of thing like that.
My bad, I'm sorry, you finished?
Yeah, I'm over there.
COINTELPRO, man, they did it all. Did it all. They still around, to be honest with you. That's 1956-2, I'm sorry, 1971. Typing too fast. COINTELPRO, acronym, counterintelligence program. This played a major role in what we understand to be the streets in the fourth period, particularly in the beginning of the fourth period. Created by a guy named J. Edgar Hoover, right? He's actually the director of the FBI from 35 to 72, but he plays an active role in federal policing, if you will, before 35, as early as the 1920s at some point. And then he creates and fashions with the government, the FBI, and sits on it and reigns on it until 72 when he passes. But this played a major role. A lot of our street revolutionaries, a lot of folk like Martin Luther King Jr. or JFK or folk like Malcolm X or Fred Hampton and folks like that, you know? Like good people. Arguably, you know, we have no proof, arguably have been impacted and or possibly, I don't know, but it's been written, assassinated by folk inside COINTELPRO. Yep.
Oh, there's some proof. There's not all of, I would argue, there's definitely a small portion of the amount of intelligence that they probably gained, but there are some records of transcripts and other levels that Hoover kind of sent to his people. Kind of what the internal memos that were going through the FBI at this time that you can gain access to through various databases, etc. But like I say, even that I would say probably pales in comparison to the larger amount of information that they probably got through this time.
Yeah. So they created a lot of hysteria on the ground in poor black communities. They arguably brought drugs and poured drugs into the community. Arguably set up, you know, not only so one of the most famous things they're known for is turning the Black Panthers against each other, right? So they were violent against each other, like us, the Black Panthers, and even the chapters. When they handled the disputes, they sometimes handled them violently. But one of the things that we began to do, which really turned the Black Panther on its head, the organization, was that they would send letters, you know, phone calls, letters, other forms of contact. Like, so one chapter to another chapter, and there was misinformation. They were sending it, representing a chapter in New York City, let's say. And they were like, what? What are they doing over there? What is the Finisher Corps them doing over there? They bugging out. I just got off the phone with them. You know, and then they would vice versa do it, you know, so they were creating all this internal tension within an organization like the Black Panthers and others, but they were also doing that on the ground in poor communities to create such an hysteria that it made it easier for them to take back control of the community from the success of the 1960 Civil Rights Movement. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, the other thing I was going to add, or the other thing that would be very similar to how police supposedly do their job now, is go into the community and hire somebody that doesn't have a job, some regular black guy, and say, all right, we want you to go into the Black Panther Party here in Harlem or over in Oakland, whatever.
Yes.
And just get as deep in as you can and report everything back to us.
Yes.
And so then you had, amongst the fraction that you had between the Eastern or East Coast parties versus the West Coast parties, you also had a fracture internally amongst every party because they didn't know who to trust.
Yep.
They didn't know, you knew, actually Bobby Seale's memoirs, See the Time, he talks about they had the Oakland party that he was really part of. They just had to shut down registration. They couldn't allow anybody else in
because they had to clean house pretty much.
Yeah.
There were so many people that were infiltrating. They just had to stop registration, go back through the rolls, and then you end up kicking people out that really meant well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they feel
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
some type of way, and so it was real crazy.
So snitches, you know, snitches, you know. But we're a big issue. We're a big issue. Let's talk about some real rap.